Florida passes bill banning big tech censorship, and how this helps Trump. I tell you all this and more. Welcome to Hide and Seek Media. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the video and your opinions on the topic. So let's get into it. So, Governor DeSantis signs bill banning social media companies from deplatforming, censoring, or banning users. So basically what this bill does is it basically fines these big tech social media platforms for banning politicians, state and local politicians, and media companies, right, so to speak. So from what I understand, the gist of it is any state politician or local politician, you cannot ban them for political speech. You cannot shadow ban them or deplatform them or censor them in any way, right, for political speech. As for media companies, it's newspapers and any blogs or podcasts or anything of that nature that has, I think, like 100,000 daily users and generates a certain amount of money every month. I'm not sure on the money. I want to say it's like $100,000 or something like that a month, something like that. But so people like Dave Rubin from the Rubin Report, or Tim Pool from Timcast IRL, Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, these people, Brandon Tatum, all these people who have conservative podcasts could essentially move to Florida, open up business, right? And these big tech companies couldn't ban them. Well, they could, but it would cost them a lot of money, and we'll get into that in a little bit, right? But what the beauty of this is, it frees up actual free speech in Florida, right? Look, nobody's saying you have to read, listen to, or watch anything that anyone puts out on the internet, okay? There are millions of people on Twitter who have crazy ideas, who I think are just wackadoos, right? And I don't follow them, don't pay attention to what they say, don't engage with those people. Why? Because I don't feel the need to drive myself totally insane. So I don't. In Florida, you can't be banned at all. You can't be shadow banned or anything, right? And so here, I'll read you a little bit of what this says. Right, the legislation defines shadow ban as action by a social media platform through any means, whether the action is determined by a natural person or an algorithm, to limit or eliminate the exposure of a user or content or material posted by a user to other users of the social media platform. This term includes acts of shadow banning by a social media platform This term includes acts of shadow banning by a social media platform which are not readily apparent to a user. Right? To censor is defined by the bill as any action taken by a social media platform to delete, regulate, restrict, edit, alter, inhibit the publication or republication of, suspend a right to post, remove or post an addendum to any content or material posted by a user. The term also includes actions to inhibit the ability of a user to be viewable by or to interact with another user of the social media platform. Lastly, deplatform is defined as any action or practice by the social media platform to permanently delete or ban a user or temporarily ban delete or ban a user from the social media platform for more than 14 days. Right. So basically, what that bill says is that you can be banned for up to 14 days. Right. But what it also says is that that social media platform has to give you 7 days notice in advance to let you know that you are at risk of being banned. Okay. So then they also have to give you the opportunity to delete the tweet, take down the video, redo it, whatever, so that you can put it up there so it doesn't violate their terms. Okay. So they have to give you the opportunity to take it down so that you don't get banned. Right. So does this give them more leeway as far as regulating their content? Maybe. I mean, they can constantly be like, okay, well, that goes against our regulations. You have to take it down or we're going to ban you. And then constantly get people taking their stuff down so they don't get banned off their social media platforms, which is just going to drive more people to places like locals.com and MeWe and Minds and other places like that. And I really enjoy I think Minds is a really cool platform. I'm really enjoying using that platform quite a bit. So I would recommend that. And Locals is a pretty cool idea too. I like the fact that you can set up your own little local community and all of that within locals.com. So that's a kind of cool concept too. So those are some pretty cool alternate social media sites if you haven't looked into them, right? But anyways, what Florida's doing, right, is basically saying you can't shut somebody down just because they disagree with you. You can't turn them off and make sure that people can't hear their ideas just because you disagree with them and you run that platform. You have to allow, in Florida, you have to allow that speech to occur. So just because they don't agree with Dr. Fauci on some of the terms for COVID, hey, guess what? In Florida, you can't ban them. So that's kind of I implore Governor Stitt, Governor Abbott, all of you you red state governors out there, please adopt this law. Make sure that people like me and other podcasts around the country who put in the work, put in the time to get to, do things like this. Make sure that we don't get censored by these big tech platforms just because they don't like what we have to say, right? We need laws like this in every red state. We need to make sure that we can protect free speech no matter what. Because you know what? I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs for all you liberals to be taken off of social media because I don't agree with what you say. Right? None of us are screaming at that. As a matter of fact, all of us allow you to say that, hey, you're allowed to say it because I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to agree with you. None of us conservatives are complaining about you wacko liberals on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I don't tweet that much, but I do some tweeting and some retweeting, but that's why I'm not on Twitter because it's a freaking cesspool of wackadoos, right? But if they would allow free speech and all free speech, then if they would allow, all speech, I'm not talking about hate speech or anything like that, but just my opinions. There are some opinions I have I can't voice here on YouTube. There are some opinions I have that I can't voice on Twitter because they'll shut me down. They'll shut this channel down. I'll get another strike, which I've already gotten one, so I got to be careful as it is. And so I don't want to get another strike, but I don't think it's right that I can't say what I want to say. And, so this Florida bill that they passed, there was this guy that come out. I don't even know this company, Net Choice. I've never even heard of it, right? But some guy comes out and he says, imagine if the government required a church to allow user-created comments and third-party advertisements promoting abortion on its social media page. Just as that would violate the First Amendment, guaranteeing the right to free speech, So too does this bill, since it would similarly force social media platforms to host content they otherwise would not allow. Although the bill was passed in the state's House and Senate on Thursday, it's likely tech companies will challenge it in court, saying the bill violates America's First Amendment rights. Okay, so first of all, the church, the church analogy here is crap. You're talking about a social media page created by a company, right, on the platform. So the platform should allow all speech. The page has the right, as the user who created the page, to say, no, I can monitor and moderate what I allow on my page. Okay? The platform, if the platform is going to do that, then they need to be considered a publisher. That's when, if you're editing comments, if you're editing content, right, because you want your users to only see what you want them to see or what you believe is right, that's editing. Okay? That's what I do in these videos. I do a lot of it. I mean, it's not great. You can see sometimes it's crappy, but I'm still getting the hang of it. But that's editing, right? I'm trying to show you only the parts I want you to see. I'm cutting out all the crap, all the rambling and all the other bull crap that I normally do, right? So as a platform, if you're doing that with user content, now you're a publisher, not a platform. If you're a platform, you're just somewhere that some people can talk. That's it. That's basically all you. I mean, of course, you don't allow hate speech and all of that stuff. Racist rhetoric and all that crap. But if I want to say something about COVID, I want to say something about the election, I should be able to. I should be able to without any interference from the platform that I'm saying it on, right? Now, if that platform wants to interfere, then they become a publisher. Now they're choosing the content they're allowing on their platform, which is no longer platform, as you become a publisher. If you're a platform, you don't allow hate speech, you don't allow violence, speech to incite violence, but different opinions, yeah, you allow that. What big tech is doing right now isn't just censorship, okay? This is a form of mind control. They're trying to steer society into in the direction they want it to go, and not the way that it's naturally going to go. So by controlling the information you see on Facebook and Twitter, they are controlling the information at large. They shouldn't have that kind of power. If they're going to have that kind of power, they should be considered an editor and a publisher, and they should fall under those rules. But they don't. So that's why 230 needs to be reformed, and that's why I think this bill that Florida passed is great. Now, if you've been following anything that's been going on in, the last few years about conservatives being censored and what's happened to President Trump, over the last few days or the last few months, since January, you'll know that censorship is run rampant, in Facebook, Twitter, YouTube over the last year, since, the beginning of 2020, basically. A lot of conservatives have been censored and shut down. You had Milo, Alex Jones, Rick Grinnell, Tony Bobolinsky, what was that guy? Ryan Hartwig, right? The whistleblower from Facebook, right? All these people got shut down. And of course, President Trump, Laura Loomer, Ann Coulter. The list goes on and on and on and on. Conservatives that are getting their voices censored and silenced because the people in power don't like what they have to say. Well, I don't like what people in power have to say half the time, right? So What do I get? What power do I have against that? It's called the Bill of Rights. It's called the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, the freedom of to peaceably assemble. That means that I have the freedom to speak, to say what I want to say, to get my thoughts out there, to convey my opinions on certain subjects and get them out there for everyone to hear. Um, and so I should be allowed to. Now, what Florida's doing is great, and this is where it's really going to help Donald Trump. All right, so Florida passed that bill, right? Basically banning social media from deplatforming political figures, both state and local political figures. So in the bill, right, it states that if a political figure is banned or suspended for political speech, then that social media platform will be fined $250,000 a day for every day that politician remains banned. Okay? Now that's on the state level. Okay? So we're not state level, but like federal level. We're talking U.S. senators, U.S. congressmen, right? Now, the more local level, state and local jurisdictions, it's $25,000 a day. All right? So if any of you guys are following me here, you're kind of figuring out where I'm going, right? Donald Trump lives at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago is in Florida. Florida passes this bill. From the minute DeSantis stops signing, when he finishes his signature on that bill, from that very second on, the clock starts running on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all these other platforms that have banned President Trump. President Trump is a politician who lives in the state of Florida and who is banned from social media. The minute that bill goes into effect, okay, I don't know if it goes into effect immediately or whatever, but the minute that bill goes into effect, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all start getting charged $250,000 a day. Okay? So, if they want to stand tough, right, and stand behind and have the conviction to stand behind their ideals, right? If their social ideals are more important than anything else, the $91.25 million a year to shut one man up shouldn't mean that much, right? I mean, just between the big three, that's $273.75 million a year to keep one man quiet. You really think they're willing to pay that? That's a lot of money that you're paying to the state of Florida, a red state, or not a red state, okay, so I'll be fair. Florida is a 50-50 state. It's red-blue, I'll be fair. But right now it's controlled by Republicans, right? So you willing to kick that much cash down to the Republicans in fines? Especially the state where Trump lives? You really willing to do that? You really willing to feed money to your enemy just to keep him quiet? And it's not even working. You can go to donaldjtrump.com/desk. And it's the president's blog, basically. You can scroll through and read all of his thoughts since he's got it up. Everything he's got an opinion on is basically like his Twitter feed. It's great. I recommend you go check it out. I'll put the link in the description. If you made it this far, make sure to smash that like button. But, I don't think Twitter and Facebook and YouTube are willing to spend that kind of money to keep one man quiet. If they are, that should tell you everything you need to know about what they are trying to do, right? If they're willing to spend over $250 million to keep one man quiet, okay? If they're willing to spend that kind of money to keep one man quiet, you have to start questioning why. Why would they want to keep that man quiet? Probably because they realize he practiced what he preached. The things he said in his campaign, he followed through with. America was on the verge of being, or was GDP through the roof, unemployment in the basement. I really care about making this the greatest country on the planet for my kids, so that they can enjoy the freedoms that I enjoyed throughout my childhood and my lifetime, right? But that's slowly being stripped away from us, right? As according to MIT research, when people see some of the posts on social media have warning labels, they're more likely to assume incorrectly that all the posts without these warning labels have been verified by fact checkers. This misconception is exacerbated by the fact that only a fraction of posts with false or unverified information are checked and marked as such. The basic problem is that micro-targeting business revenue model, the basic problem is the marketing, the micro-targeting business revenue model of Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and all current mainstream social media networks. These companies allow marketers and purveyors of misinformation to pay to boost content to target audiences most susceptible to believing it. So basically, what that says is that their model, right, is flawed. Their fact checking is flawed, right? So they're not fact checking every post. They're only fact checking the ones with information that they don't like. So they'll say, "Oh no, that's false. See, this one little word makes that whole thing false, right? Because you're changing the context and blah blah blah, whatever." The way they try to, manipulate, language and whatever to make what, whatever they're fact checking false is ridiculous. But then you have people, who pay Facebook to boost your posts, like they often ask me to do whenever I post on Hide and Seek Media on Facebook. I don't boost my posts. I just put them out there. If you see them, you see them. If you don't, you don't. Sooner or later, my content will get out there. It'll get shared. If you like my content, make sure to hit that share button at the end of this video. Smash that like button, and if you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. But let's get back to it. At the end, I think this bill is great. I think, like I said, more red states need to sign bills like this. Governor Stitt, if you see this video, or if anybody sees this video that can get it to him, sign a bill like this in Oklahoma. We need something like this in Oklahoma. Make sure that Oklahoma voices are heard and not censored. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the video and your opinion on the topics. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace.